Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon Arizona Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, I am proud to be sponsored by BetterHelp, BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. John will make sure to put that down in the description. So BetterHelp with a P, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez, and that will take you to their website and all that sort of good stuff. So why am I sponsored by BetterHelp? Because they are an international online therapy company, and I've had literally hundreds of people asking me, where can I go for counseling? I'm outside of the United States. And so this is a great place if you're outside of the United States to get a counselor that's here in the US. They are all master's level and above PhD. And if you are in a small town here in the US and you don't want to see your therapist that's, in your small town, get on to betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez, and it will find you a therapist licensed in your state. So, and that is the nice thing, is that they are all licensed in the state that you are in and all of that sort of good stuff. So betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Might help if I actually plugged in the computer so it didn't run out of juice. There you go. Hold on. We are on a hold. Thank you. One moment, please. Click. There we go. Not organized this weekend. This weekend was my birthday, so I don't think I put out an announcement on the show or anything. I apologize for that. I was a little distracted. All right. So, hi, everybody. Okay. So, let us get some stuff out of the way here. Susanna Quintana, SusannaQuintana.com. You Are Still That Girl. Great book. Read it. It's fabulous. The Highly Sensitive Person's Guide for Dealing with Toxic People, How to Reclaim Your Power, which is what we are going to be talking about today, from Narcissists and Other Manipulators by Shahida Arabi. Fantastic book. Love, 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 love. I recommend it to all my clients. Get it, read it, do it. It's awesome. It will help. All right, there is that. And if you are going through a divorce, Splitting by Bill Eddy and Randy Krieger. Randy Krieger is the one that wrote Stop Walking on Eggshells. So Bill Eddy is a licensed social worker. Amazing book, great book. It's going to tell you exactly what these people are going to try to pull when you are going through a divorce. So great book, Splitting. Yeah, and of course there's my books. Stop Walking on, or not Stop Walking on Eggshells. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him cha-cha. And What's Wrong with Your Dad, both available on chrisgodinez.com. So, and I will personally autograph those for you and put a little saying in there and send it off to you. So, boom, there is that. So today I wanted to talk about taking your power back, especially this is the time for this. This is divorce season, unfortunately. So it's after the holidays, brand new year, and this seems to be the time when either the target of abuse goes, I've had it, thanks for playing, let's do something different, and files for divorce, or the abuser is like, I found a new one, I want the tax things all straightened out, so I'm going to file at the first of the year. That's another thing they do. So, okay, taking our power back. Let's talk about that. When we are in an abusive relationship, when we are in a toxic relationship, when we've had parents that didn't hear us, didn't listen to us, didn't, validate our feelings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we get groomed to be codependent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then our inner child is the one doing the picking when we pick a romantic partner, and we end up picking somebody who reminds us of our original wound, right? Then we get with them and they start abusing the crap out of us, right? They're like, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not this, not good enough, not good enough. And it becomes part of our internal critic. Not only do they do that, but they take our certainty away. They literally take the rug out from underneath us, and just rip it out and watch us fall. So when we leave an abusive relationship, when we leave a toxic relationship, they want to continue to maintain power and control. So remember, with an abuser, it is all about power and control. That's really, it's not, people get often confused with the Hoovers, because they're like, oh, they really want me back. Oh, they really, no, they really want to continue to have a power trip over you and to control you. So it's really, and oh gosh, yes, we do tend to marry the parent, the imago of the parent that we had the most difficulty with. So somebody will remind us of our abusive father. Somebody will remind us of our abusive mother, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandparents, whatever. Whoever the abuser was is what the inner child has a tendency to go seek, trying to fix that relationship. And you don't want that. So when we come out of an abusive relationship, we are devastated, like devastated, like they've taken away our certainty. They cause us to second guess everything, even things that we are certain of. Chris, do you like mac and cheese? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I like mac and cheese. Do I like mac and cheese? Seriously, that's the kind of level of brainwashing that they do. And that's the gaslighting. And that's all the stuff. So when you are coming out of an abusive relationship and you are divorcing one of these people, or you are leaving the family and you are, in essence, divorcing these people so that you're not around them, that you're not having to deal with them. There's a couple, oh, thank you. There's a couple of things you need to remember. So working on self-esteem is going to be your number one focus, right? Because here's the thing, they've taken away our self-esteem. They've taken away our certainty. They've taken away our ability to stand in our certainness. And they've taken away our power because they have victimized, abused, lied, gaslight, rewritten history, brainwash, kept us up at night, not allowing us to sleep. Does any of this sound familiar? Because I think it should. And so when we come out of it, our self-esteem is destroyed. We're like, who am I? What do I like? I don't even know. I can't even tell you what I like to eat. Seriously. So the first thing that is really, really important in taking your power back is to start working on loving you 110%. Not even kidding. So when I keep, because people are like, why do you keep pushing the self-esteem workbook? Because that's what we need to work on. Seriously, because these people, and I use the term loosely, these people want to harm. They are sadistic. Don't ever forget that. They do things intentionally to harm, to hurt, to cause pain, to whatever, because they enjoy the power trip. It is just a power trip. Colleen, thank you so much. So it's really important to get your self-esteem so rock solid that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter what bulltinky they pull, you are calm, cool, collected, and realize that it has to do with them and does not have anything to do with you. Let me say that again. When abusers say and do the most heinous things, it has everything to do with them. It has nothing to do with you. This is more about them than it is about you. So for example, and this is a great example, and I'm so glad that Heather's allowing me to use this. I have a friend who is in politics in Maryland, and she's been a victim of sex trafficking, and she's been an advocate for victims, and she's amazing. I freaking love her. And so she posted this thing where, she'd been in this horrific, contentious divorce with this ex, right? And the kids are everything, right? To a good mom, to a good dad, the kids are everything. And so they want to maintain a good relationship. Well, when an abuser knows that those kids are everything to you, they're going to do everything in their power to try to take those kids away from you. So I don't recommend necessarily doing this, but out of a desperation move, she did. And she did like this reverse psychology. Oh, can't wait till the kids are grown up. I really look forward to the time when you have them, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, no interest in taking the kids. Isn't that interesting? Whereas before, he had been fighting tooth and nail to take as much time to, take every single, phone call every single day and, at the most inconvenient times, typical narcissist, that kind of thing. Do you see where I'm going with that? I don't necessarily recommend you try this, the reverse psychology, but in her case, it worked. And it just goes to show that when you're dealing with an abuser in a divorce case where there's kids, they will zero in on what is the most important to you. So if there are no children involved and the most important thing to you is security, right? What are they going to do? They're going to bankrupt you. They're going to take away as much money as they possibly can. They're going to try to make it so that you cannot live on your own. They're going to try, if it's the kids involved, they're going to try to take the kids away from you. They're going to try to make you feel scared that, they've got the kids. It was a gambit that paid off for her. I cannot necessarily say, yes, go do that, because it may not pay off. But in that case, I thought it was really interesting that the abuser suddenly, like literally after years, suddenly, no concern, no care, didn't want anything to do with the kids, gave up a lot of time. It's just things that make you go, what the actual? So in taking our power back, part of what the abuser wants is to be taken dead serious. They are all about the gravitas. Like, seriously, they don't have a sense of humor. Have you ever noticed that when you're dealing with an abuser, they don't have a sense of humor? And if they do have a sense of humor, it is very snarky, nasty, mean, sarcastic, sardonic, cynical, always making somebody else wrong, always is somebody the butt of the joke, that kind of thing. So they want to be serious. They want to be taken with gravitas, that whole thing. So the biggest mistake that we make when we are leaving either a family that is abusive or a romantic situation that is abusive is that we take everything that they say as being real. You can't, because their version of reality is way different than what's really going on. And this includes the flying monkeys and everybody else. So when you are dealing with an abuser, getting the self-esteem rock solid is absolutely imperative. Right after you get your self-esteem rock solid, you're going to discover that your sense of humor is going to come back, like your real sense of humor, like the good sense of humor, like the laughing because the sun is rising kind of sense of humor. Does that make sense? The joyous sense of humor, not making anybody wrong, not putting anybody down, not, you're going to find that, oh my gosh, I do have a sense of humor again. Oh my gosh. So when they start doing the nastiness, when they start, because as soon as you leave an abuser, whether that's a family of origin or whether that's a romantic partner or sometimes a boss or a corporation or whatever, they're going to send the flying monkeys. They're going to start the emails. So when you start that, you cannot take everything they are saying seriously. They are going to say the nastiest, most heinous, most rotten, most hurtful things that they can in an effort to gotcha. That's what they want to do. And they want you to respond. So here's the thing. As soon as you know that you are divorcing and you're out and you're safe, right? You're going to get Family Wizard, okay, to do all of the emails. You're not going to accept any emails into your own personal account. You're going to get Family Wizard because that records everything. And then they can't then go back later on and delete stuff and take stuff out and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, here's every rotten thing that you said to me from the second we divorced. Here's every rotten thing you said about the kids from the second we divorced. Here's every rotten threat that you've ever tried. They're so stupid. They don't understand that they're not always going to get away with it. They think that they're impervious to the law. They think they're above the law because they're psychopaths. Remember, dark triad. So we got narcissistic, psychopath, Machiavellian, control freak. And that's really what all of these nasty missives are about. They want you to think about them 24/7. They want to live rent-free up here. So this is what the Family Wizard will help with, because it's a recording of every single email that comes back and forth. You also have to be very cognizant of not playing the game. So taking our power back is being able to not take their BS personally. In other words, if they start going, you're a horrible husband, you're a horrible wife, you're a terrible spouse, you've done this, you guns, you're going to have to take a deep breath and realize they are talking about themselves. It's all projection. Remember, if they are speaking and they are saying nasty, horrible things, it is generally about themselves. It is, because that's who and what they are, and that's who and what they do. So, and that is difficult to do if we do not have our self-esteem in line, online, working, rock solid, nobody can rumble it, that kind of thing. Because when an abuser comes at us and goes, you, they've trained us to not think for ourselves, to second guess, to believe them, and to always think that we're wrong, and to always demand, they're always demanding an explanation. Well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? How did you you know? And so it gets to the point where you want to not do that. And that's why the self-esteem is so vitally important. And you're going to be working in conjunction self-esteem with learning not to respond to their fishing bait. They're baiting us. They're baiting us when they do these emails where there's 14 or 15 pages of you and one sentence about the kids. They do that on purpose. Listen to me now, believe me later, guys. These jackwagons do this kind of verbal vomit, word salad abuse on purpose. And I would like to point this out again. When they start doing the verbal vomit, word salad, they know that they've lost. So keep that in mind. You got to understand how these creatures play. And the way that they play is when they're losing an argument, when they've lost something, when they know that they're not going to win this one, that's when they resort to word salad. So just take a deep breath and go, I'll win. And find your sense of humor about it. They want to have the gravitas. They think that everything that they're saying is weighted. And it means something, and you should make it mean something, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's why they do the 14-page stuff, and then there's one teeny tiny sentence about the kids or whatever, or one teeny tiny sentence about something that needs to be dealt with in the divorce, and the rest of it is just it's a projection, but it's a damnation of who you are. And where people get screwed up is that they play into the projection instead of going, oh, this is them. I don't need to respond to this. They start this tit for tat verbal back and forth. That's what they want. They want you to do the tit for tat verbal back and forth. Do not. Listen to me now, believe me later. If you are not responding to any of their vileness, and you've got family wizard going on, and you are only responding to the parts that really pertain to either the divorce or to the kids, and that's it, and there's nothing personal, and it's all business-like and professional, and they're the ones that are like going off, I can give you 3 guesses which ones the judges are going to be listening more to. It's not them, it's you. So, because remember, when you get into a divorce situation, judges don't care. They don't care about the drama. They don't. They listen to me now, believe me later. They just want this off their docket. They do. It's like, can you frickin' agree? No, why? And if they go off on this dramatic, well, they did this to me and they did that to me, and grand drama and opera and Aida and people dying and blah, 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 then the judge is going to sit there and go, oh, really? Oh, Jesus. Why? They're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. They want couples to come in. Great. It's divided up. Everything's good. We're 50-50 custody. All right. Great. Good. Go. Bye. Good luck. God bless. That's really what they want. So if you can keep your head while others around you are losing theirs, it's from If, that poem. Who the hell wrote that? Oh, I'm going to have to look it up. Anyway, if you could keep your head while they're losing theirs, you're going to look like the sane person, because you are, and they're going to look like the crazy that they really, really are, because they don't understand that judges and court situations are not grand theater. They think it is. They've watched way too many Law and Orders. They've watched way too many Perry Masons. They don't understand. It's like, no, all they care literally is about the facts. That's it. Do you have a settlement? Do you not? So when they go off on their stuff, when they start doing the you, when they start trying to make you second guess, well, why did you do that? And why did you say this? And how come you're doing this? And da-da-da-da. You do not owe them an explanation unless it has directly to do with the divorce. And what I often recommend is, once the divorce is going, it's a really good idea to just force all communication through your lawyer if you can afford it, or because then you let the lawyer answer or not as needed. Or you have the family wizard so that everything's recorded and you can take your time, and you do not owe them an immediate response. So think of it this way. Taking our power back means we don't owe anybody an explanation. They have trained us to apologize all the time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors, Audrey. where she's like, I'm sorry, doctor. I'm sorry, doctor. And she's like constantly apologizing. And the doctor, played by Steve Martin brilliantly, was completely abusive. Bill Murray was so funny in that. I'm sorry, off on a tangent. Anyway, but they train us to, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And, oh, well, here's the reason why I did that. That is part of taking your power back, is to stop apologizing unless it's really warranted. If you've hurt someone, obviously, then you clean it up, you make apologies, and you make sure it doesn't happen again. But with explanations, you don't owe them an explanation. You're divorcing them. Or you're getting out of the family and the flying monkeys are coming at you. But why? Why are you not talking to your mom and dad? I don't owe you an explanation. This is between me and my family. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye. Or if it's a member of the family, this is between me and the people involved. This has nothing to do with you. Thanks for asking. And you leave it at that. And then if they don't get the clue, you just point blank, none of your damn business. Seriously. So abusers absolutely get us into the very, very, very bad habit of constantly apologizing, constantly explaining. Stop explaining to them. They are dedicated to misunderstanding you. They will never understand where you are coming from. You would have a deeper conversation with the screen behind me, seriously, than you would with an abuser who's demanding an explanation as to why you're divorcing and why you're doing that and why you're raising the kids this way and da-da-da-da-da-da. So you only have to answer things that have to do with the kids or have to do with the divorce. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not owe them an apology. You don't. That's the amazing thing, is that I've seen abusers twist the whole situation, who have been physically abusive, by the way, twist the whole situation. And pretty soon the target of abuse is like, I'm so sorry I made you do that. No, you did not. Let's work on boundaries here. Disease to please, Harriet Breaker. Why are you apologizing to this person who used to beat the living crap out of you? What the? Let's work on this. This is a self-esteem issue. So again, it does all go back to self-esteem, because people with good self-esteem recognize that they do not need to apologize when they have been the ones that have been wronged. And we don't get that because we have been codependent, right? And so taking our power back means not allowing them to dictate how we feel. Let me just say that again. Taking our power back means not allowing them to dictate how we feel. So often, targets of abuse will get one of these horrible emails from these jackwagons, and it will completely throw them off for the rest of the day. Don't give that to them. Ow, I hit my hand on the desk. Don't give it to them. Don't, because that's what they want. So going back to this, they want to live rent-free in your head. Do not hand your power over to an email. You are more powerful than an email. Let me say that again. You are more powerful than their email. Yes, they are saying horrible things. Yes, they are saying nasty things. Yes, it is intentional. Yes, they want you to feel bad. And the best thing you can do is start laughing at the ridiculousness of it. Holy crap, this person thinks they can control me through a text. Wow, they think they can control me through an email. Let me just have a nice laugh about that. No, not playing. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Not responding. Only going to respond to what's about in the divorce. Okay, bye-bye. You got to have a sense of humor about it, because that's the way they want. They want to be able to live rent-free in your head forever and ever, and they want to control. And that's really what those nasty emails and things are about. So taking our power back is recognizing all of this stuff when it goes you is all about them. And recognizing how absurd this is. I mean, really, healthy, normal people do not seek to harm other people. They just don't. But disordered people do, because they're sadistic and they enjoy it. And it's a power and control thing for them. So instead of getting angry, the best thing you can do is go, wow, this is all them. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, let me find the spot I need to respond to. Oh, there it is. Oh, one line. Oh, maybe 2 lines. Okay, there it is. All right, well, I'm just going to respond to that. Get on to Family Wizard. Billy has piano lessons at 4 every Tuesday, so we'll switch back and forth, whatever the thing is. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's Don't give it to them. And what that will do, listen to me now, believe me later, guys, that will send them into a rage. They will be so angry that you're not playing. So I've had several people send me texts recently going, what does it mean when they say, why aren't you playing my game? Or what does it mean when they say, well, you were supposed to do that. It's almost like WandaVision where she like catches vision and she's like, well, you were supposed to, dot, dot, dot. Sorry, I'm a nerd. I was watching WandaVision. It's awesome. You should watch it. Anyway, the point being is don't play their game. Don't play their game. Their game is getting down into the mud and wrestling with pigs, okay? Don't get down into the mud and wrestle with pigs. Don't do it. You're just going to get dirty and you're not going to have a good time. It's going to be cold and nasty. Don't do it. That's what they want, though. They want you to respond to them. They want you to keep feeding the fire. They want you to keep feeding the bear. They want to be able to keep poking you and you roar back. No, taking your power back is learning to take a deep breath. Wow, they are messed up. Okay, this is all them. It is not me. It feels personal. Don't mistake. It does feel personal. It does. But it's intentional on their part. Just remember, healthy, normal people do not seek to harm other people. If a couple comes together and they're healthy and they realize that they got married too young and they break apart, they just break apart. It does happen, and they leave each other alone and they go their separate ways and they wish each other well, right? With these people, though, they don't want a clean separation. They would rather have a messed up connection than no connection at all. And so they think that if they can just keep you responding and keep you responding and keep you responding, that's their narcissistic supply. Remember, narcissists don't care if the attention is positive or negative, as long as you are paying attention to them. That's all they care about, whether it's positive or negative. They don't care. Oh, look, I got her to respond. Oh, look, I got him to respond. Let me just send another nasty email. Da, 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 da. And they enjoy it. They enjoy it. Healthy, normal people don't. Healthy, normal people ain't got time for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we're busy living our lives. So you do not want to respond. You do not want to give them the time of day. You find exactly what matters to the divorce. Or if they're blowing up your phone with texts, block them. Block them. You are under no obligation to respond to them once the divorce proceedings have started. Block them. Block them on social media. Block them on email. Block them on only do Family Wizard or have everything go through your attorney. One of the two. Stop taking everything they say so seriously and stop taking everything they say personally because remember, they're projecting. Every time it's the doom of you, they're speaking about themselves. You're not going to survive without me. You're not going to make it without me. You're going to be broke. You're going to be homeless. You. Oh, really? Okay. Well, good luck living without somebody who has a, actual personality and soul. It's like, good luck with that, buddy, because you're sick. You see where I'm going with that? So they're like projecting, and they do want to destroy us. Remember this. I've said this before. I will say it again. They want their targets of abuse dead. They do. And they mean that physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, religiously, and otherwise, ecumenically. They want us dead because they don't enjoy things. They don't have true joy. I mean, really, it's like they don't. And they hate us because we do. So the best revenge that you can do is no revenge at all. And that's really hard for people to wrap their heads around because they're like, oh, but they did this and they did that and they did that. Okay, so contacting them. What are you doing? Telling them everything they did wrong to you and that they should feel terrible. What are you doing? You are giving them narcissistic supply. You do not want to do that. Cut them off. Totally, completely. They don't get to be around you anymore. They don't get to have your moral compass. They don't get to have your joie de vivre. They don't get to have your joy. They don't get to have your fun. They don't get to have your laughter. They don't get to have it. They don't get to have it. Cut them off. Most importantly, they don't get to have your tears. They don't get to have your anger. They don't get to have anything. They get nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. They get nothing. And then eventually, just like I was telling you earlier, it's like when there's nothing to poke against, it's just like in Kung Fu. So when an opponent comes at you instead of meeting force with force, which is just going to tire you out and you're going to end up on the ground dead, you step out of the way and allow them to carry themselves down to the ground with their own energy. So that's kind of what you're doing with the abuser, is you're just kind of going, oh, okay, you're this, you're that, you're going to fail, blah, blah, blah. And then you laugh. Good luck with that. How's the ground? Because they're doing it to themselves. But yet, remember, they're masters of blaming, shaming, and guilt tripping. And they're masters of going, but you did this to me. You stepped out of the way. How dare you? How dare you step out of the way? That's exactly what they're saying. And at that point, you just kind of got to go, damn, your idea of reality is way different than mine. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. And you just leave. So it's not playing into the game. It's not giving them what they want. And it's the same thing with flying monkeys. You don't play the game. You don't do tit for tat. That's where we all go south, is because it is an injustice. It is not fair. I'll be the first to tell you that. You're damn straight. It's not fair. It's not. And it hurts. It does. However, it's not going to do you any good to call them out on it. It will do you good, though, to only respond to what you need to respond to. Get your self-esteem back up where it needs to go. Get the hell out. Don't play the game. Don't do tit for tat. Stop seeking revenge. Listen to me, guys. What they're going to face is way worse than what any of us could ever do to them, depending on your religious views and beliefs. So it's like their karma comes back to them. None of these people ever really truly end well. So good luck. God bless. Figure it out or not, whatever, not my problem. And you move on with your life. So the best revenge is no revenge. The best revenge is working on your self-esteem, working on your boundaries, getting yourself back, like taking your power back, taking your thoughts back, not having this person be the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thing you think of at night, because you're so used to trying to twist yourself into pretzels to please them so you could stay safe. So working on the codependency. So all of the books that would be really, really good. Again, The Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker, Self-Esteem Workbook, Glenn Schiraldi, CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker. That's a great way to take your power back. That's one of the things, is that people get stuck in the anger and they're like, angry, 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 revenge, revenge, revenge. And it's like, no, 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 no. Put that back on the abuser. That's where that belongs, because nothing you say or do is going to change them. And it's not because you're not powerful. It's not because you're not amazing. It's because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to change. They don't want to get better. They don't. They really don't. They may say they do, but they'll go to couples counseling, and then they'll use everything in couples counseling against the person, or they'll go to their own individual counseling and they'll find a counselor that doesn't know what they're doing, or they'll go to couples or to individual counseling 1, maybe 2 times and then quit as soon as the therapist goes, and what's your part? So yeah, they don't want to get better. They don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want to do anything different. And it's sad, but it's not your problem. Codependency, you got to work on. That's another way to take your power back, is it's not my problem. It's not my job. It's not my job. It's their job. I'm letting it go. Don't respond negatively or positively. Do not respond. They need narcissistic supply like the rest of us need air. Stop seeking revenge. It's not going to do you any good. It's just going to make you feel like doo-doo, and it's going to continue the loop of craziness, because that's what they want. They want you to seek revenge on them, because then it's a tit for tat thing. Game on. Oh yeah, let's do this. They're crazy that way. You want to go live your life. And the best way to live your life is to cut these people off cold turkey, have nothing more to do with them. Cut off the flying monkeys cold turkey. Only respond to things that have to do with the divorce or have to do with the kids. Nothing else. Get your sense of humor back. Stop apologizing all the time, because you don't need to. Stop explaining yourself to somebody who is dedicated to misunderstanding you. That is the way to take your power back. Let go of this idea of revenge. Leave it. Let go, let God. Let go, let the universe. It's not your job. Let something or someone higher than you deal with them, because they will. So, all right. Okay. Are we? Oh, good Lord, I've gone over. Okay. Let's get to, where's my cursor? Hello. Let's get to the questions. Okay. Why do some narcs and malignant borderlines gravitate to psychology and trying to be fake advocates? It's the power and control. So when I was going through my schooling, I think I told you there was only maybe 4 people besides me that I liked, that I trusted, that would be good therapists. The rest of them were just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is a nice way to put it. So yeah, they are very much attracted to positions of power. And yes, that is why my profession, unfortunately, has a large amount of narcissists in them, and especially the psychiatrists. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It builds them up. It's an outside thing that builds them up. So yeah, you've got to be careful when you are looking for a therapist and you want to question them. And if something feels off, fire them and find somebody else. You have a right to. If you don't like your therapist, fire them, find somebody else. And you do not owe them an explanation. I've seen some narcissistic therapists be like, well, they needed to tell me. And I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't. You're not God. Have a nice life. Bye-bye. So yeah, fire them. So yeah, it is very scary, and they are attracted to positions of power. You will find them in the judicial system, especially lawyers, attorneys, judges. There are lots of narcissists in that profession, unfortunately. Doctors, again, therapists, etc. So you want to really do your due diligence and trust your gut. This is the big thing, is that we got to get back into trusting our gut. Once we get out of a relationship with an abusive family or with an abusive partner, we've got to get back to trusting our gut. The head and the heart tell stories. So the head and the heart will be like, oh, no, you have to respond. No, you have to give them an explanation. No, you didn't. No, stop. No, I do not. Oh, look at the silence from my gut going, yes, you do not owe them an explanation. Fabulous. Gut, go you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get back into trusting your gut. It's like, that responding to them is just giving them the energy they need to continue to abuse you. Stop. You don't deserve it. Stop. So yeah, absolutely. That was a good question. So thank you. So just trust your gut. And as soon as a therapist does something you don't like, if you're like, ooh, this feels a lot like my ex, or this feels very narcissistic or whatever, you could try raising it up with them. But if they start doing a bunch of psychobabble at you and start defending themselves, be done. You could even walk out. No, I'm done. No, we're done. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye. So trust your gut. Trust your gut. What's the best way to set boundaries with flying monkey parents so they stop feeding me info about my narc ex? Oh, that is a classic. They do that a lot. Yeah, okay. They don't understand. They're sending me his bait, not ready to no contact them too. You just tell them point blank, I don't want to hear it. And if they start to bring, you know what? I've already told you, I don't want to hear it. Please honor that. I'm not interested. And you just cut them off every single time. And they'll get pissed. Absolutely, because it's a game. They're enjoying it somehow. You may want to consider going no contact if they do not honor that request. That is a boundary. So again, list of deal breakers. I don't want to talk about my ex. And you're going to have to tell them that up front. Mom, Dad, I love you. I don't want to hear about my ex. I don't want to talk about him. I'm not interested. And if you bring it up, I will change the subject or I will leave. Point blank. You got to be assertive. And that's something that we're not trained to do when we come out of an abusive family or we come out of an abusive relationship, is because being assertive has never been safe. So it's okay to ask for and lay down boundaries. And if they cross over that boundary after you've made it crystal clear, and if they pull the whole, oh, well, you didn't tell me that you didn't want, rewriting history. We were sitting in Starbucks. We did this. We did that. We talked about that. No. There's your answer. And at that point, you're probably going to have to go no contact. So yeah, just point blank. Just be point blank and lay it out. I don't want to talk about my ex. I don't want to hear about it. Please don't bring it up. And if you do, I'm going to get up and walk away. And then do it. You've got to follow through. You cannot just make idle threats. You've got to be like, okay, we talked about this. Bye. I'll see you next week. And then you leave. Seriously, you have a right to not have your boundaries disrespected. So there it is. Okay. Where am I? Okay. How to be a good neighbor to an elderly woman with bad health, no relatives near, when the elderly woman is a narc. You are under no obligation to help this person. It's not your job. It's not your problem. It's not. And like I said, the nursing homes are filled with elderly narcissists, collapsed elderly narcissists that family does not want to take care of. You do what common decency would kind of, ask for, like, check in on her, make sure she's still alive kind of thing, but you don't owe her more than a 5-minute time out of your day. So, and be aware the elderly narcissists are collapsed and they're looking for supply and they're looking for somebody. And oftentimes they go from grandiose to the covert narcissist because now they don't have the power, the looks, the money, whatever. And now they're playing the victim. So be very careful of that. You do what your moral compass tells you, but you do not help above and beyond your moral compass. You do not help above and beyond anything that's going to, like, if you're going to start harming yourself because you're helping this person, no, you stop. You can call adult protective services if she seems to not be in a safe place. Other than that, not your job. Codependency, Codependent No More, and Beyond Codependent No More, both by Melanie Beattie. The Disease to Please by Harry Breaker. I would read both of them. So there is the fine line of, I'm a good human being, I want to make sure everybody's okay, but you also then don't want to fall into the codependency part. So if you start helping her above and beyond what you're comfortable with, now you're into codependency. Does that make sense? So there it is. All right. I haven't had therapy in almost 3 weeks because of snow days. Now, all kinds of junk has happened, and I don't know how to get everything into 1 hour. Tips on how to begin. Start writing it down. Write it down, write it down, write it down. I tell my clients this all the time, even though they see me weekly or every other week. Stuff happens, and sometimes we'll get onto the telephone and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I had so much to talk about and now I can't remember what it was. What was I going to say? Write it down. Write it down. Keep a little notepad with you and just jot down the stuff that you want to make sure to talk about in therapy. Given that it's been 3 weeks, you're probably not going to get everything into a 1 hour session just because there's so much that has happened in 3 weeks. But you jot down, if you could jot down everything that happened and then give the top 3. What are the top 3 issues that you definitely need to talk about the next time you see your therapist? So yeah, do that. But writing things down is a great idea because even if you don't see your therapist, even if you see them once a week, there's still stuff that happens and we don't remember everything, it's like a lot of stuff, life happens. So yeah, jot it down and then pick the top 3 and then, let her know there's more or let him know there's more. And then the next time address all of that. So yeah, you're not going to get everything in a 1 hour session. You're just not. Because remember, you got to tell a story or tell what's going on, and then you got to process, and then you got to work on a solution. And yeah, so top 3. And if you get through the 3, that would be great. If not, do it the next session. Write things down. It really does help your therapist if you do that, because then it's like, oh, I forgot that happened. Oh yeah, we got to talk about, and then make sure that you keep current, you keep moving forward. Yeah, absolutely. I'm finally becoming more outspoken, but fear I'm becoming more me by speaking my mind. It feels narcissistic. So remember, if you read The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner, excellent book, by the way. She even says in her little preamble, you're going to read this book and you're going to think you're the narcissist. You're not if you're reading this book. But we do, because think about it. When we are raised by a narcissistic family, right? Or we are in a narcissistic relationship, abusive, and we come out of it, what have we been doing for the last days, weeks, months, years with that situation? We have been making ourselves smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, twisting ourselves into a pretzel, trying to make this person happy, trying to make that person happy, trying to stay out of trouble, trying not to get punished, trying not to, fill in the blank. So when we do start becoming outspoken and we do start talking about things that are important to us, it does feel like, oh my God, this feels weird because now I'm talking about myself. So really, it's a read the room kind of thing. If you are talking about yourself all the time and not allowing anybody else to share or to talk, Houston, there's a problem. But if you're just expressing what you're thinking and feeling, and then somebody else has a chance to talk, then you're okay. Narcissists don't share the spotlight. Narcissists absolutely do not share the spotlight. They don't allow other people to, share the spotlight or say their feelings or speak their truth, that kind of thing. So yeah, so it's kind of a read the room, check in with yourself. Are you allowing other people to share? Great, then you're good. So don't worry about it. But if you do want to read a great book, it's The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. If you're wondering if your boss or your romantic partner or your family has got that issue, that's a good book to start with. Okay. I've heard somewhere that mortification is a technique to cut them off for a while, saying things that destroy their fantasy photo about me. What do you think? You could try it, but it's very difficult to do because they love to switch the thing and make it about you. The best thing to do is to just cut them off, not play games. Don't try to make them feel mortified or inflict narcissistic wounding. So a narcissistic wound is when the narcissist's magic thinking is exposed or when their behavior is exposed. And that leaves a narcissistic wound. And so that's then when they become much more dangerous because they want theirs and they're going to hurt you. They're going to get you back. Yeah, it may make them go away for a while, but honestly, the best way to do it is just no contact, be done. Be done. Be done. Don't play their game. Don't get down in the mud with them, because that's part of that mortification. That's the shaming, blaming, and guilt tripping. So don't do it. Don't do it, Frenchie. Don't do it. You don't want to do that. So just go no contact. That's the best way to make them go away. It's like, boop, done. No game playing, no worrying, no when are they coming back, no, none of that. They're never going to get it. Narcissistic wounding never lasts for long because their ego will justify, rationalize, etc. They'll rewrite history and then they'll come roaring back bigger and badder. You just want to be done with them. Don't play their game. I'm having a hard time keeping a job when misogynistic men want me to shut up, look pretty and do all the work and be nice. Narcissistic people, men, did lots of therapy work, but the job cycle repeats. How do I find a job where this won't happen? Well, that's a good question. Again, I think it is a matter of what I find is that when we really truly work on our own self-esteem and we work on our own boundaries and we work on our own stuff, we tend to not gravitate towards jobs that replay or repeat whatever has happened in the original wound. So I would strongly suggest getting Catherine Taylor, The Inner Child Workbook, and really with an eye towards that particular issue. Where did that come from? Who in the family wanted you to shut up and be pretty? Who wanted you to do all the work? Because narcissists do that. They tend to not hold down jobs, or if they do, they tend to not share the money. Who did that? So you want to work on that. So The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor, I think would be really good. Redoing CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Where did this happen earlier on in your life? Put it back on those types of people. And when you are doing a job search, I cannot stress enough the importance of really checking out the company. So Glassdoor.com has reviews from people who work at the company, and that's kind of a good way to get a feel for how this company is. So Glassdoor.com is a really good way to kind of see, what's the corporate culture like? What is this something that's going to mesh well with me, or is this something that I want nothing to do with? So really do your due diligence, talk to people who work there, see what they think, and then you can decide whether or not this is a place you want to work. So much like our picker is broken with romantic partners, our picker is also broken with where we work. We tend to play out familial roles in the workplace. I know it's one of those kind of moments when you realize it. So so I would work on that. I would work on The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. I would go back through CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, figure out where that all came into play. And I would definitely do the due diligence in interviewing them. So this is the funny thing, is that oftentimes we don't know that we can interview them as much as they interview us, and we should do that with therapists as well. So, it's like I have a right to know what I'm getting into. I have a right to know whether this is going to be a job that I will enjoy or whether this is a job that I'm going to be, as soon as I get into it, going, oh, so wanted ads. What can I get? Where can I go? You want to do your due diligence. So that's what I would suggest. Hi, Chris. I was wondering if you thought Al-Anon is a good support group for dealing with narcissistic families. I am looking for a good support group. It can be. I've heard both good and bad things about Al-Anon, so it just kind of depends. It's mostly for, obviously, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's for the families dealing with an alcoholic person. Now, alcoholism does mimic narcissism, because when you're in the throes of your addiction, it's all about you and your drug, and that's it. So it can be. I would be very careful, though, because a lot of groups, and this even goes for AA. I love AA, but don't get me wrong. There are some people that get attracted to AA, again, narcissists, who want to be the big man or woman on campus. There are lots of codependent people in there. So you just kind of got to make sure you have good boundaries. CODA, Codependence Anonymous, that's another good one. They do online groups, which I think is a good thing. With any support group, you just want to make sure that you've got your boundaries really strong, because there are predators in a lot of support groups, which sucks. There are obviously codependent people, that will kind of gravitate and try to use or lean on you or whatever. So you just got to have really good boundaries no matter what support group you go to. Now, there are support groups that are specific to dealing with narcissists. Oh, Lord, what am I thinking? It was outofthefog.net.network. I think it was outofthefog.network had suggestions for support groups. But again, be very cautious, because predators, during the whole pandemic thing, when everybody went to online, a whole bunch of predators showed up to the AA meetings, like out of the blue, like trolls. Just like, why don't you go drink and blah, 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 blah. And they finally figured out a way to kick them out. But there's going to be trolls. There's going to be predators in any group. You just got to be really careful and pick a good one. Just check it out. See what you think. If something feels off, don't go back. That's the best thing you can do. I think it's outofthefog.network, I think. And that's where I saw a lot of support groups. So, okay, do you consider unrequited love as a form of love, or would it come under the realm of mental illness? Unrequited love, meaning you love somebody and they don't love you back. I would say that that's more magic thinking. So not necessarily illness, because look at our society. How many romance novels and movies and stuff have that element of, oh, I love this person, but they don't love me. And then, or they hate me or whatever. And then suddenly they get together and it's all sunshine and roses and unicorn farts. So I think a lot of that might be societal. So is it a mental illness? No, but it is magic thinking. It is magic thinking, which is not healthy, So you really want to take a look at, what is this about? Whose love am I really trying to get? Is it mom? Is it dad? Is it grandma, grandpa? Who is the abuser? Whose love am I fighting for? Whose love could I never get? Whose approval could I never get? So, and you really want to keep a strong rein on that, because it's a way of torturing yourself and it's a way of making yourself feel bad. So here's the deal. If it hurts, it ain't love. I don't know what it is, but it ain't love. Love does not hurt. True love does not hurt. It doesn't. It's easy. It's comfortable. It's there. It's freely given. It's infinite, With unrequited love, it's like this lack and scarcity and striving and, oh, I love this person, but they don't love me, and da-da-da-da, it's like, let it go. Just let it go. If it hurts, it's not love. So, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll try to give you a better answer, but that's what I think. Question. I have been abused by much older half-sister. I am now no contact and moved to a different country. I heard via family she is thinking of coming here to teach me a lesson. Is this normal? Oh yeah, okay. Is this normal behavior for narcs? If they are dark triad, yes. So dark triads are the ones that do the stalking, because they're psychopaths. the rules don't apply to them. They don't understand that they're going to get caught. They're going to get an order of protection against them. They're going to, whatever. So dark triads are the narcissist with the psychopath with the control freak. Okay. So when their favorite punching bag gets away from them, they start stalking. These are the ones that start stalking, and they're the more dangerous because they're crazy, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to the nth degree. So, yeah, you don't talk about it with your family. I don't know who's the flying monkey. I don't know if they're doing this to just scare you, whatever. If she shows up, I would seriously consider letting the police know ahead of time, hey, this person has said that they were going to come and quote unquote teach me a lesson. I don't know what country you're in. If you are in a country that does orders of protection, do it. Yeah, stalking is what dark triads do. So when their favorite punching bag gets taken away from them, they get angry and they're going to show you who's in charge, that kind of thing. That's what that's all about. That's what the whole stalking thing is about. See, I can slash your tires. See, I know what you're doing. See, I know where you are. See, I can, whatever their BS is. So what you want to do is you want to talk to the police, and you want to talk to maybe an attorney and talk about, okay, what can I do to protect myself from this person? I would be very careful talking to the family because I don't know who's the flying monkey here. Are they doing this to scare you, or are they, what's the deal? I don't know. All right, kiddos. So that is it for today. So remember, you take your power back by working on self-esteem. You do not feed the bear. You do not give them any response. Going no contact, no answer is an answer. So remember that. No answer is an answer. You don't owe them anything, So take your power back, work on self-esteem, work on boundaries, work on codependency, CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, all of those books. Next week, I want to talk about reframing your thoughts, because they've filled our heads with so much stuff and everything's so dark and nasty. I want to start reframing things because they really do make us live in lack and scarcity. So it's really important to get out of that lack and scarcity and start reframing how we talk to ourselves, what we say to ourselves, how we say it to ourselves, all that sort of good stuff. So we're going to talk about reframing next week. All right, kiddos, be good. Have a great week. Where is my cursor? There it is. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.